Lync 2010 has been out for a while now, so immediately after doing an install, one of the things I usually do is install the latest updates. Right now, we're up to cumulative update number 6. So we call these CUs, short for cumulative update. And you can just find these on Microsoft's download centers. There's a Q article, or a KB article, I should say, out there. Got it on my clipboard here. It's KB 2493736. If you do a search on that, it'll get you to the article where they always have the same link. So it's always the same KB article, and it'll take you to the latest version of the current update. So if you scroll down here and click on this link, the Lync server update installer package, this guy will basically take all the components and update you based on what you have installed, which is really nice. So if you look at this here right now, the latest one that was published is showing up here, 6/15/2012. So that was the most recent one where I'm at. By the time you watch this, that might be, months ahead of time, but the KB article number should still be the same. What you can do is just come down to the downloads here and grab this file, and this will help you update only the components that you need. So I'm going to download this, save it locally here in my downloads folder. And a nice thing about doing this update right now is I've not yet done a deployment. I don't have anybody actually connected to this server. So let me go ahead and close out of this. Well, let me run this. I'll go ahead and close the browser. And this thing pops up and it shows you, okay, based on what you've got installed, here's all the updates that you're missing. I've never updated it at all, so basically totally out of date here. So before I actually click on install updates, I would want to, if this was a production server, I would want to basically take it out of service or drain stop it. We'll talk about that in more high availability. But for right now, what I want to do is kind of just take it out of commission. Stop all the services. And what that would look like if you did have people connected, you would have to come in here and do a few things. Right now, my services are all running and everything, so I want to do a stop CS Windows service. Basically take all those Lync services and stop those. He's also warning here that IIS might be running, so you might want to do that because the server is part of a front-end pool. So I'd want to stop the CS Windows services. That'll take all the Lync services down and then run a net stop for the IIS components as well. So once that command is completed, just simply do a net stop W3 SVC. That'll kill the worldwide publishing service. And then now you're ready to update the components. So click on Install Updates, and we'll run through a list and update all of those various components that need to be done. What you should end up with eventually is green marks for all of these components up here on the right. So once that all goes through, here we go. We've got green check marks for everything. Every single component has been updated to the latest and greatest. And to bring this guy back online, I simply just want to do a net start at this point. Net start W3 SVC. It's already back up. And then I want to do a start CS Windows service to bring my Lync services back online. That covers the service, the actual, I should say, the server component in this case. So if I had two front-end servers, I'd want to do both of those. If I had an edge, the process would be the same. But there's also some SQL database updates that need to take place as well. And this is also done by another commandlet that's out there in the Lync server management shell. Once all those services have been updated, you also might need to update your SQL Server databases depending on the release. So in order to do that, there's also a commandlet in the Lync server management shell called install CS database. Now we have an enterprise pool set up right now. So what we would want to do is an install CS database and say update. And then we want to say configured databases. And then we want to say SQL Server FQDN. In this case, our SQL Server is sql1.interface.local. And if we had the archiving and monitoring databases on the same server, we would want to use this exclude co-located stores. We don't have that right now, so we don't need to do that. So this would update the database for an Enterprise Edition pool. So you run through that, it'll do a bunch of stuff. It should come back and tell you whether or not that's successful. Typically, this isn't a problem. It will let you know. It's very descriptive as to what it's doing. And you should get a success 0 at the very end of this command. So there we go, success 0. So that looks good. Now, if this was a standard edition server, the command would have been a little bit different. What it would have looked like would be very similar. You'd say install CS database update, and then you would just simply say local databases. So for standard edition, you don't have that backend SQL server, and it's just a simple one-liner with just a couple parameters like this. So databases are updated, components have been updated. So I would do a net start at this point, net start W3 SVC. That would fire up the IIS components for me, and then I would say start CS Windows service. And once those commands are complete, the system is completely up to date and all the services are now back online. Now, when it comes to updating clients, the process is a little different. Let's take a look at how we would do that on Windows 7. Okay, so on this Windows client, let's fire up Lync. So this is a Windows 7 64-bit machine. Let's go ahead and bring this guy up here and we'll look at the version information. So this is the initial release. So if you go up here to Help and About, you can see that's version 4.0.7577.0. So I just want to check that and make sure that's going to be updated. Let's jump over here to Internet Explorer. I'm already at the download center where I'm looking at KB2701664. So this is the 64-bit update for the Lync client. And this published date is pretty recent, is the day after the CU came out for the servers. So if you're running a 32-bit workstation, there's also a download for that. I've already downloaded the MSP file out into my share. So I'm not going to do that again. But let me go out to my SQL Server SQL1/install, and here's my link.msp file. So I can just run this interactively. I've got the permissions to do it. Again, you could push this out through a script. So the update's complete. If we go back into the Lync client, take a look. Look at that version information again. So we'll go up to Help and About. Now you can see that the version's 4.0.7577.4103. So it updated successfully. Now, if you wanted to do that from your batch file, maybe you did the install from a batch file, now you want to do the update. Something similar that we kind of looked at earlier during the deployment. If you're out on that file share, in that directory, we have our link.msp. What you could do here is an MSI exec, say /update, then the file name /quiet. And as long as the user has the ability to do that, they can do that there. You can also deploy these updates via Windows Update as well. So if the user doesn't have the ability to update the file, you can update it for them through WSUS or just having Windows Update enabled on the machine. That's the process of updating your servers and updating your clients for Lync.